And late at night, Brian Brothers, we feel good. We feel good. All right, I got the Celsius. Oh man, we feel great, Brian Brothers. We are getting some work in. We are getting some work in. The Cowboys, real football's here, Brian Brothers. Some real football is here, and we got some things to talk about. Later on in the week, of course, we're going to talk about the Browns, and I'm going to talk about how bad I think Watson is and what you could do with that run game. Chubb is hurt, and Brian's going to say, "Hey, nobody's going to feel sorry for you, Chubb. You got to do what we got to do." But we'll cross that bridge whenever we get there. Brian, I do got some things I do want to talk to you about from a big picture standpoint. Just this season, some of these young players, what's it going to mean when they get into some of these environments or whatnot. But this is what I want to kick it off with you, Brian. You've just kind of been around. I've been in the social media circles or whatnot, and there's a bunch of buzz about Rico Dowdle that we just did not hear weeks ago. I don't know if you've been on socials, but you've been in the building. You've just heard it. All of a sudden, there's just been this report. I think John Machota and Todd Archer touched on it. And I was like, "Hey, y'all, we just want to let you know, out of nowhere, we just want to make you aware." I don't know if you was listening at first, but if you thought Zeke was the main guy, Todd Archer per ESPN, ain't that who with ESPN, and John Machota, the Athletic, we just want to let you know that Rico Dowdle is the guy, and you was right this whole time, Voch Lombardi. That's what I heard when they were talking to me. Oh, Voch, you been fussing about Zeke this whole time and Dalvin Cook this whole time. Voch, you was right. Most likely, it seems to be that Rico Dowdle is going to be the lead guy. Even Mike McCarthy came out and said, "Hey, man, Rico Dowdle is going to be playing less special teams." That translates to no special teams to me, Brian Brothers. Sure. And that Rico is going to be your number one guy. Brian, why you think John Machota, Mike McCarthy, and Todd Archer chose this time to come out and tell us who running back one was? That's a damn good question, Voch. You right?
Yeah, it is a good question, and you're right. You've been really consistent throughout the programs talking about this. I'll say this though, Voch. I don't know why. God, I'm a terrible radio guy doing this, terrible podcaster, terrible everything when I don't give you a good answer. But my own eyes, I saw Ezekiel Elliott running with the ones quite a bit, and if it was going to be. If it was just going to be the Rico Dowdle show, I don't know why all those days, those month I spent in Oxnard, that I didn't see Rico Dowdle, and there were times where they were giving him a break as far as, playing in preseason games, which, it's fine. But the thing that I didn't get that vibe. I didn't get that vibe because I kept seeing the running back drills start off with number 15 going through the drills. First offense, I saw number 15 running with the first team. So if they got to a point, and here just recently, and said the best opportunity for us to run the football is with Rico Dowdle, especially with two rookie offensive linemen.
Sure.
That might be. They realize that they have to get to and through the holes. They can't have plays that are be blocked for 8 yards and they only get 4 or 3. They can't have that.
Sure.
So if they're going to, in fact, if Rico Dowdle is the guy, they've done a damn good job of hiding that until we get to game week. But I give you credit. You saw like, hey, and there's a lot of people I'm sure too that, were thinking, well, maybe this, maybe that. But it was almost like the time when the kicker got cut, when
Garibay.
No, not Garibay. Our longtime kicker,
Dan Bailey.
When Dan Bailey got cut, we were all like looking at each other like, there was a kicking competition. We didn't know that. What? Kicking? What? We were out here for a month. Kicking? We actually got cut? What? And I don't know. I don't have a great answer for you. Sure. The answer I do have is that every indication of practices were of Ezekiel Elliott being that guy.
Sure. So, Brian, let me ask you this.
And let me ask you this, though, real quick, though, if I could. Just real quick. I'm sorry. I'm a long-winded guy. You know that from working with me all this time. the thing with to me, if Rico Dowdle was going to be the one all the way through and Zeke was going to be the two, why go get Dalvin Cook?
I think Dalvin Cook is insurance because Zeke is old guy and Rico Dowdle is hurt guy.
Okay, that I agree with.
Sure,
but if Zeke is going to be old guy but not get all the reps, you know, we'll just go with
the young guy.
Just go with Vaughn and Elliott. Well,
sure.
If you want to, make Elliott the third back.
Sure.
Make him the third guy. And you know what? It might come to that. It might come to like, okay, how are we going to use Zeke?
Sure.
We're going to use him as a third down, catch the ball, third down, help chip block guy. Third down, get us 3rd and 2, you know. That's where this whole thing, maybe where I got it wrong was thinking that Ezekiel Elliott was the one, when in actuality he might end up being the 3.
Well, Brian Brothers, in your scenario, what if Zeke was just Brock Hoffman? What if Zeke was just Brock Hoffman, right? Because I always look at the Cowboys like they don't make a lot of sense. I'm just a dude with a microphone and a camera. They real life people. They know what the hell going on over here. I'm like, man, there's no way. No offense to Zeke, because his mama don't even follow me on Twitter no more and said so many bad things about about Zeke. But you know, we can look at the two players and we can tell which one is better right now.
We can.
So we ended up being right about Hoffman. We ended up being right about Guyton. I do think we're eventually going to be right about Rico, about Rico being running back 1 right now. But you bring up a fair point of why all this parading with Zeke, why all the charading with Zeke. Oh, Rico Dowdle over there with the 3s. He's on the other field because he got to get reps, right, Voch? Like that whole thing. I'm thinking, you know, maybe the Cowboys just do an elaborate job of lying to us. Maybe we just see Zeke run out there, but in those secret Illuminati practices that we're not allowed to see, that's when Rico Dowdle gets all the carries, Brian Brothers. Right. So, you know, I'm just looking at this situation like, you know, knowing that the Cowboys love to lie to us, right? Especially Mike McCarthy. Ever since Mike McCarthy got here, all he do is lie to us. Our media friends do a fantastic job, and we just knew Michael Mayer was going to be the first pick. We wasn't even looking at tight ends in that damn first pick. So we have evidence of the Cowboys lying to us whenever we hear these things. So when I hear Rico just in the news, Brian Brothers, when I'm hearing Rico is running back 1, what that means to me is that Mike McCarthy is looking for some type of competitive advantage. He was like, hey man, I want y'all to prepare for Ezekiel Elliott, prepare for all these public practices. There's Ezekiel Elliott, there's Chuma Adoga, there's Brock Hoffman. But secretly in the Illuminati practices, yeah, man, we're going to eventually get ready for BB to take over here. We're going to eventually get ready for Guy to take over here. And in real life, everybody's saying, hey, you know, Rico got the most juice out of all these guys. Rico was the best pass catcher on this team last year. You know, Zeke was looking like a little bit of an old guy. At the end of the day, the truth always comes to the light, Brian Brothers. And it makes sense that Rico's the RB1. I was just confused about why they telling us right now.
Yeah, you know, to me, you're right. There's a lot of deception that goes on over there. To be honest with you, we haven't even got into this contract with Dak the way that I said this on radio today. And if I could just make this point real quick, the thing with Dak, somebody asked me, I think it's Gavin Dawson asked me, well, what do I think about what's going to happen? And I go, listen, I've spent a whole month at training camp, told this. I spent time back from training camp, been told this. Can't understand why Dak's looking for a long-term deal when he's always looked for a short-term deal. Why the Cowboys want a long-term deal, but they can't. They want a short-term deal now. Why, you know, there's so much going on right now that, and to their credit, if they're trying their best to throw people off where they're going, they're doing a damn good job of it. They're doing a great job with the Dak contract. You know, people, you know, I was hearing that Dak and his agents and stuff were meeting today, being Tuesday. You know, I heard that. You know, now, do I believe it? Pretty damn good, solid source told me that. You know, so I'm thinking, okay, we'll follow up. Well, I can't get anybody to follow up with it on it. So there's usually when you don't get an answer back, it's no, we don't want to comment on that because it is actually happening. But I couldn't tell you. It goes if it's been a summer of we don't like Dak, we like Dak. We don't want a long-term deal, we want a long-term deal. Zeke has been the number one running back. Rico Dowdle has been number two. Oh, now all of a sudden Rico Dowdle is number one. They might have got to a situation, like I said, and they sat in that meeting and they said the best chance for us to run the damn ball is with Rico Dowdle running the ball. And I don't care what anybody, they could have been playing the whole intent, Jerry and Steven and all them saying in the front office, let's see what Zeke's got. Let's see what Zeke's got. Let's see. And then they realized that, it takes a hard time for Zeke or a long time for Zeke to run option routes or to get to the hole, and they're like, can we afford just to give away rushing opportunities with a back that's probably going to get 3.5 to 4 yards of carry potentially. And if right now Rico Dowdle is the starter, then they've made the right decisions, much like you've asked them to do with Cooper Beebe, and much like you asked them to do with Tyler Guyton. These are the things that that me personally, it would, like I said earlier, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if Zeke is the third running back on this team. If it's Beebe, if it's Dowdle, Vaughn, and Elliott, that would not shock me one bit if we came out and that was how these guys played. That Vaughn goes in when Dowdle goes out, Vaughn goes in, and it's a third down situation. We need a block or we need a blitz pickup, and then they put Zeke in there. Wouldn't surprise me one bit now.
See, if Rico Dowdle, if Ezekiel Elliott, right? If Zeke is my running back one, I'm panicking and I'm going to go look for some other running backs because I feel like if Zeke is the best guy, we need some dudes up in here. Right. Brian, so let's just say hypothetically that all this goes through and there's no more nonsense going on. Rico Dowdle is your RB1. Sleight of hand is going out the window. Rico's the one guy, right?
Right.
Does your urgency change when it comes to looking for running back outside of the house?
I think it changes.
Got my fastball today, Brian Price.
Yeah, man, you're throwing it on the black. It's really we're throwing it black on my knees. I can't hit it.
Yeah.
The thing with, I don't think it'll ever change. I don't think it'll ever change with me with the running back.
Sure.
But the thing about it is, if Voch says that Rico Dowdle is going to play 17 games for me this year and be healthy, maybe I don't look. I don't know. I don't know if having Cook here makes me feel any better. It doesn't make me feel any better. But if they would have went out and drafted a young back, or picked one up on the wire, for example, Frank Gore Jr. I know we talked about Frank Gore Jr. on our show here. It would have made me feel better if they would have claimed Frank Gore Jr. and he would have been a part of this, because I kind of feeling young back, tough back, back that could catch the ball, back that, has a great bloodline with successful, healthy back, so I wish they would have done that. They didn't. Do I feel any better about it? No. Would I feel better if you told me that Dowdle's the starter going forward? Yes, I would feel better. Do I want to go get another guy? Yes. Do I feel like I need to look at all the teams that have extra surplus backs? Yes, I feel like I need to do that. I need to do my due diligence on this back, because if it doesn't work out, I'm going to have to pivot pretty damn quick.
Man, Brian Brothers, I'm just looking at the young guys on this team, right? So let's just combine the last two draft classes.
Oof.
It's day and night the responsibilities of those guys, right? What'd you say?
Yeah.
Like what we're asking last year's draft class versus this year's draft class to do, it's night and day. Brother Mozzie has done nothing.
He has done nothing.
So much to where you have brought in two older gentlemen to kind of help with the D tackle situation. Schoonmaker has done nothing.
He has done nothing.
DeMarvin Overshown was hurt. He hadn't done anything, but he's been hurt or whatever, but we're hoping to get more out of him or whatever.
Yes. Yes.
Villi,
by the way, can I say something real quick?
Por favor.
Real quick. I promise this is quick.
I
asked somebody in the organization that would know hip pointer not a problem. He should be good to go for this week. So it's no issues there. So continue on.
That's fantastic news for Overshown.
Yeah.
Villiami probably going to be in Vegas somewhere.
They paid him. They took him off the he got waived off the they paid him the injury settlement that we talked about. He's off the books. So now he'll be free to go somewhere else. Yes. He's not on your books anymore.
He need to go get a real job. Eric Scott, not even here anymore. So if you just look at last year's draft class, even the guys that are like contributing for us or whatever, they're still like backup guys. They're still like a little bit down the depth chart a little bit. As the contrast to that, as opposed to that, you look at some of the rookies.
Yeah.
It's like those dudes got to play. Those, like, your left tackle is starting for you. I would say Marshawn Nealon's probably going to be the first defensive end out there for you. He's going to be stopping the run, whatever. Cooper Beebe, your center, he's going to be playing for you. Louisville, Carson, those dudes are playing. What challenges are those dudes going to be going through? Because we talked about it during preseason, and preseason is cool, but now there's a whole nother step. In this preseason game, there may be 100, 300 people in the stands, Brian. Like, it's not going to be as loud. What are some of the challenges that these rookies are going to have to be going through, and who kind of has it the worst? Guyton going against.
That's what I wanted. Yeah, I love this question. I wanted to ask you this question if I could, coming back.
Hell yeah,
because you're really good at this stuff. Which one of the 4 guys you mentioned needs to really start off well?
Okay,
yeah.
So I'm writing this down for you, okay? I'm writing this down just so we can get a real good clarity. I'm not going to include Louisville because he'll be amongst the rotation. He doesn't have big responsibility.
Okay, so he's number 4 in that list then, right?
No. So right now I got your left tackle, Guyton.
Oh, okay.
He's going to be seeing Myles Garrett and some of these other established guys. Your right defensive end, Marshawn Nealon. Cleveland Browns have a really good offensive line. He's going to have to line up in B gap. He's going to line up on the outside. Cooper Beebe, in which I don't think the competition that he goes against is going to be a big problem for him. Yeah. But he's a brand new center. Crowd noise, silent count, making the calls amongst all that kind of stuff. That's going to be his. It's
going to be a problem when they put Myles Garrett in the A gap.
That's going to be a big ass problem too, Brian Barnes. You're 100% right. And then you got Kalen Carson that got to chase around Amari Cooper or Jerry Jeudy today. That's going to be a big ass issue too. So those are the 4 guys that I'm really talking about: Guyton, Nealon, Beebe, and Carson. Right. Which of those guys need to come out?
If you had to power rank, again, I would love the word power rank.
Hell yeah.
If you had to rank the 4 guys you mentioned and in what order do you need them to play at a high level? I know you need them all to play at a high level.
Sure.
But, man, I've got to have this guy, then this guy, then this guy, and then my 4th guy can kind of get away from it.
Let me tell you why I love this question, because I think you can do it every week and it'll be a different answer every time.
Oh, I do too.
This game in particular, I think you have a lot more responsibility on. So I'm putting Nealon first. Okay. I'm putting Nealon first. I'm gonna tell you why. I don't think Deshaun Watson's all that good. So if you can stop the run.
Yeah.
If you can stop the run, you've dealt with a lot of the issues that team has to give you. Chubb ain't playing. It's still Jerome Ford, and Jerome Ford has put up some solid running against some teams or whatever, and we're still an unproven run defense or whatever. But all eyes are going to be on run defense, and I think Marshawn Nealon is going to be a big part of that. I put him 1. Crowd noise is humongous in this situation. Silent count. This ain't no, here we go, set hut, white 80 set hut. Zach just gonna do this, and you just gotta be ready. And I think BB's gonna have to bring every single mental fabric that he can to the party. I got BB at number 2. Now Tyler Guyton's gonna have a ton of help. He's going to have Schoonmaker helping. He's going to have running backs behind him helping. Dak's going to get rid of the football. I think Guyton's going to be fine. There's some urgency there because he's Guyton and that's Myles Garrett, but he has a ton of help. I got him 3. And I think Kalen Carson's going to be fine because in the context of this defense, I don't think Deshaun Watson's going to be able to throw the ball very well. Amari Cooper's very dangerous. If there's any threat to like deep ball, there should be a safety behind you. But I just believe in general that if you can shut down the run and make the Browns throw the football, I think that's an advantage to us. So I feel good about Carson. So I got Nealon 1, BB 2, Guyton 3, and Kalen Carson number 4. Did that shit on the fly, Brian Bros. Come on, man. Come on, hold on. Come on, man.
John DeMarco for sure on that one, bro. All right, I'm going to try and counter that greatness that you just threw at me here, but I'm going to go a different route.
Okay.
I did mine on the fly, but I wrote them down here on a little piece of paper. But I'm so proud of my on the Scantron. You wrote on the Scantron.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to counter with BB because I think in this game, I think that to me personally, you mentioned silent counts and things like that. I think this team has to think about running on quick counts. Like when you get up the line, get set, go. Don't, because the Browns, when you watch them do some standing around, they do some standing around. Koromora, Garrett, they kind of stand around, boom, hit them and then go. And, get up on the ball, go. Don't do it a lot of, tapping the foot, raising the foot, and then Martin tapping, that kind of thing. I think it's going to be just get the snap and then get your block. That's kind of where I think. So I think BB, just to get the play started, is going to have to be a big player.
Let me just say this too on that point, Brian Broad, just a little bit of background. We got 2 centers here or whatever. Sometimes when you're in these offenses and they move really fast, sometimes it's not on a 1 or a 2 or a 3. Yeah. Sometimes it's like first sound. Sometimes
it's the center gets over the ball and he snaps it and they go. Yeah. I think that when you watch the Ravens play against, and you watch the Bengals with Joe Burrow, he really did a good job of mixing up the snap count. Like sometimes they waited, then they go fast, and then, he didn't let them get a real beat on how he was doing it. So I think maybe some of that might be something we need to think about. I think Guyton, you mentioned about Guyton getting help.
Yeah.
Why is there a side of me, Voch? And I think I've talked to you about this, maybe not. I know we haven't talked since last week. Why do I kind of feel like that the Browns are going to attack Steele?
That's fair. That's fair, Brian Brothers. There was a lot of times last year where the Eagles would do that. Like they'll just take their best guy and just put him on Terrence and beat the hell out of him. You're right. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, no. And I wonder because strength, I think I give it to Guyton right now. Length, I give it to Guyton right now. Athletic ability, I think they're both really fair as far as comparisons with athletic ability. I don't see a lot of strength in Steele. I just don't know if he could sit down. I watched Myles Garrett just toss guys today. Yeah. Like Cincinnati's tackle set high a couple of different times, and he just got underneath him. I wonder if the Browns and Jim Schwartz, the coordinator, is looking at that situation and saying they're going to do everything in their power to help Guyton in this game. Where maybe the guy they need to help is Steele. Because they're thinking, okay, there's 2 spots I could probably get good one-on-one matchups with.
Sure. Center,
cover both guards, make them have to block guys over their nose, and then put Myles Garrett over BB and see how that works. But they're probably, Schwartz is probably thinking they're more willing to help Guyton than they are willing to help Steele. And Steele might be in the one-on-one. Steele has ability. Steele's got athletic ability. Steele can run the guy past the quarterback. He's got good foot quickness. His strength and anchor is not always great. There'll be those 1 or 2 reps where you see Dak throw it and get like 78 in his lap as he's getting rid of the ball. I just wonder how much. To me, if I'm watching, and I know it's a rookie over there at left tackle, but there's been some good snaps for that rookie over there at left tackle.
Sure.
There's been some good snaps for Steele. But if you told me which guy has the least amount of power and is least likely to get the most help, it's probably Steele.
If there's a guy you fear Myles Garrett running down the middle of and just overpowering, it'll be the left tackle or the right tackle.
Right tackle.
Yeah, okay. I feel you.
But the left tackle's hands, we've talked about this, can be really bad.
Sure.
But he will headbutt you, and he's got the feet and the ability to sit down I don't always see Steele sitting down.
Sure.
And that's worries me a little bit. I think Carson's number 3 on my list. I think they're going to, if you're absolutely right, if this thing turns into Deshaun Watson having to throw the football, they might be in some trouble.
Sure.
The Browns might be in some trouble here. And so I kind of feel like, though, with Carson, I think he'll match up fine. He's competitive. He's tough. He's a rookie, but man, every day rookies play in this league and thrive. And he's that kind of kid. I think he got underdrafted. I think he's much better than where he was selected. I love what Al Harris has done with him. I don't think this is too big for him. I do worry about guys just running by him, though.
Yeah.
He's got to be able to get a jam. If these Browns receivers, if they try and run vertical, he has got to make sure he jams that thing at the line of scrimmage. And Zimmer's going to play a lot of cover 2 probably and put safeties behind him to make sure that he's taken care of. So I think that's something you need to look at. And I put Nealon as number 4. I think Nealon's going to be your starter at right end in this game.
Yeah.
I really, really do. And how they play the run will be big. This is a creative group when it comes to running the football. I love watching teams like the Lions, the Rams, the 49ers, the Browns now. This is really the first time I sat down and really watched the Browns.
Yeah.
This Kevin Stefanski, he has got this pull both guards left, block the center second level, trap the nose with the tight end. He's got some ways. Hand the ball to Ford. Oh, wait a minute. They're running behind 2 traps and a second level block. And I'm watching that and I'm going, damn, that's impressive.
Yeah.
And you wonder why they run the ball well. It's because they have good personnel, but they have creative scheme. Now, listen to this. They lost running game Moses, who I call Bill Callahan.
Yeah.
Bill Callahan. Running game Moses, anywhere he goes, they run the football.
Yeah.
And so with running game Moses no longer being there, maybe this alliance, this Browns attack might not be as potent. But I think with the linebackers, the safeties that Cowboys have, they'll be able to hold up in this running game. Nealon will be okay playing on that right end, but I make him number 4. I think all 4 of those guys need to play. At least if you could get game balls from all 4 of those guys, that would be you're going to win the football game. You get game balls for all 4 of those cats.
Yeah, I agree, Brian. Somebody asked me today on my show. I thought it was
how many shows you done today, by the way?
Man, I did a couple of them. We did the YouTube joint. We hopped on Twitch. We hopped on Bleacher. Hey, man, we busy this time. They pay good money for football dudes this year, so I can't say no. What you want me to say?
It's funny, like you do like 4 shows, and then I say, hey, bro, let's go at 8 o'clock tonight. And you're like, yeah, man, sure, I'll see you then. I mean, it's no hesitation.
Hey, man, we got stuff to do, man. We got stuff to do. We got stuff. I don't want you to shame me and call me lazy in that. So I got to stay.
I'll call you lazy. You know that. Yes. I'm that kind of guy.
Yes, sir. Brian,
I'm worried about you calling me lazy. That's what I'm worried about.
Well, you can slack off a little bit sometimes, but I ain't gonna say it to your face. I'm gonna tell my audience when you're not watching. Somebody asked me early on my live stream, Brian, and everybody can go check that out if they want to. But they was like, man, Voch, what if Kalen Carson and Jordan Lewis just have a ridiculous first 6 games of the year? What happens when Bland comes back? And my response to him, well, I was like, that's a damn good pickle to be in. And I said, pause, that's a damn good pickle. But I was like, hey man, that's the situation that you got to be in. That's a good ass problem. But I was like, I'll just ask Brian Broaddus later on. Kalen Carson goes out here and he shuts down Amari Cooper, and Jordan Lewis shuts down whoever and they just have 6 weeks of just ridiculous success. What happens when Bland comes back?
Bland gets his job back.
And who sits though?
Probably Carson. Yeah. They're not going to sit their nickel. They'll sit Carson though. I mean, and it's one of those things where I promise you I'll do something. This is what I'll do. I promise you I'll do this. I'll ask Mike Zimmer that exact question. He probably won't give me an answer.
Hell nah, he's not going to tell you nothing like that, man.
I'll ask him.
Yeah.
I got him. You want to call him? We can call him right now. We can just call him and see what he wants to do.
He would never say that live on our show, will he? Will he?
I'll say it for him. No, my gut feeling is they would sit Carson. If Carson and Lewis both were playing at a high level,
yeah,
and all things being equal, I think they would sit Carson.
I think that's tough, man, because I
thought that last time with Tony Romo and Dak Prescott in 2016.
Well, I saw Lewis potentially he was about to get sat down when like Gilmore was here, right? It was going to be Gilmore, Diggs, and Bland, but Diggs got hurt, so we needed Jordan Lewis or whatever. I just think Jordan Lewis played some good football for you, and maybe his like seniority or whatever was gonna kick in and do something for you. But I think Kalen Carson's a really good player, and if he if he exceeds the expectations or whatever, hey, there's no telling how that'll go. Brian, that's all I got for you today, man. Really what I've been doing while we've been talking, let me just give you a little bit of behind the scenes here. I've really just been watching Myles Garrett whoop people while we've been talking. You know what I'm saying? You don't always know this, but while we're talking football, sometimes I just keep myself sharp by just watching film on whoever it is we're talking about. And man, I'm terrified at this 95 cat and what
let me tell you something. All right, stop it right there if you could.
Oh, hell yeah. Let me go back for you.
Back it up. You're really good at backing this stuff up.
Yeah,
back it up for me. Yeah. Okay. And stop it right there if we could. All right. This is where, to me, this Myles Garrett, if I could look, and you see how wide he is. We call it like a wide 9 or a wide technique. You know that from the holes, wide. Yes, that's a wide 9.
Yes, sir.
What you could do is you could almost space him you could put a tight end to his side and maybe make him play a little further.
Yeah.
But okay, he's already wide. Run the play, and I'll tell you when to stop. Stop. Look how much ground. Look how much ground the tackle narrow base. Yeah. That narrow base right there. He's got no shot.
He's beat right now.
He's beat. Yeah. That right there, he is beat. That narrow base will get you beat. Look how much ground
he has to cover
from that outside alignment. Myles Garrett, his first step brought him even to that offensive tackle. Watch this. Watch his first step. Boom. He's even. His first step.
Yeah.
That's how much ground so you could put him wide. You could rush him really, really wide. And he's still, even if you think about spacing him wide, he makes up so much ground on his first step. So, you have to think about like, well, you put a tight end over there. You're going to put a back over there. Oh, you're going to widen him out there.
He'll beat it. he'll just beat it.
He'll beat it because, look at that. Okay, now you can watch the end zone of this. This ought to be great. What's Tennessee doing today here on our blocking scheme? Not very much. But this is the kind of stuff that absolutely scares you.
Yeah.
Just overpower. I mean, I could say I was watching. It was the end zone copy of this one.
We should have end zone next.
There you go. There you go. All right, here we go. We're going to line up again really wide. And this is something that they started doing too, is putting two rushers, 54 and 95 to the same side is what they started. But look at that. Look how he's just – see, that's what – go back if we could. This is what I worry about with Steele, that he just gets underneath Steele and just drives him straight to the quarterback.
Yeah.
That's because Steele doesn't have the upper body power to step, and like Tyron Smith is going to cut that off right there.
Yeah.
He's going to, and even Guyton might have some problems, but look at him just dip that shoulder and look how much power he's able to generate underneath the blocker to just turn him and then go to the quarterback.
To be fair, Brian Bros, that's Andre Dillard, and Andre Dillard ain't all that good. To be fair.
Philadelphia thought that was a first-round pick. That kid from Washington State, at college, he was a much better player than he was.
Yeah. But, to be fair, like if there's anything I've seen, well, he's having a day with Dillard.
Underneath.
He's having a day with him. But if there's anything I learned about Tyler Guyton is that you're not going to beat Tyler Guyton in one step. You know what I mean?
Nope.
You can be powerful. You can run down the middle of him and all that, but you're not going to beat him with your feet. like he has incredible feet and he can always recover. So and
I saw this today. This is when I watched.
Then he gets back
spin move right there, right off there. See that spin move? See, he's rushing hard upfield, and then what does he do? Go back if you could, just a smidge. You're great at doing this. Chop hands, chop. What's these? Chopping the hands, chop the hands, spin inside. The guy's got no way of stopping that. Chop the hands, spin inside, and look at the guard trying to help. Guard sees what's happening. Guard's like, "Oh shit!" And then it's too late. Man.
Hey man, if there's a dude that's terrifying, and look, I love Michael Parsons. I love number 11. 11 ain't doing shit like this. You know what I'm saying? He can run around some folk, but Myles Garrett will just wreck a game, man. He'll just.
Colts game, I believe. Yeah.
It's like, it's that ugly ass Colts jersey. Yeah. Oh, this dude tough, bro. But hey, I don't think there's a Luke Schoonmaker that can even help you here. Like you just gotta get rid of the ball, man.
Well, sometimes I'll tell you a guy that might be your secret weapon, believe it or not.
Who's that?
Is Hunter Lipke.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, Hunter Lipke in a way of Hunter Lipke will fight you and Hunter Lipke will let you run over him to get to the ball.
But it'll buy you just enough time.
It'll buy you just enough time because he'll let you get. He'll
sacrifice himself.
He will stuntman it up, and he'll let the guy run right over the top of him. But what you got to be careful when you're doing this chip blocking stuff and all that,
like this right here.
Don't get in the way of your offensive lineman.
Your tackle, yeah.
Don't get in the way. Do not throw your offensive tackle off.
Yeah. Linemen, Brian, we're always measuring. We're always and it's a weird like instinct that know how fast somebody's gonna get to you. So you know how you have to throw a hand or the timing on one of your flashes or something like that. And sometimes the tight end will put themselves in your lap. You go like, all right, tight end, move, or our feet are getting tangled up, or I'm throwing my hands and you're in my way. Sometimes you would rather play somebody by yourself, but I don't think there's anybody that wants to go against Myles Garrett by themselves. This dude's a little ridiculous, man. Dude's a little ridiculous.
He is a little bit.
Hey, man, Brian Brothers, appreciate you, man. I always love to just pull out the film sometime and us just talk about some. Maybe one day we'll just show up and just watch some film if we ain't got nothing to do. Just show up and do that.
I tell you what, that sounds like a lot of fun. We'll do that.
VOCHLOMBARDI. Y'all can follow me on my socials. We're busy now, so I'll be talking on the Twitter machine, and that's Brian Bras, BRYN Bras. BRIAN is somebody else, but that is BRYN Bras. We appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. We'll do this again tomorrow. We love y'all, and we'll catch you next time. Crown.